Welcome to Podtendo, a Nintendo podcast, where they analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games.
Today's assignment, photograph the elusive Pokemon. How do you do it? You're gonna be fast. You need a keen eye, the best equipment, and lightning-quick reflexes.
No, you don't. All you need is Pokemon Snap, the first Pokemon game for N64. Find them, frame them, and shoot. You can even bring your Snap cartridge to a participating Blockbuster video and print out stickers of your favorites.
Doesn't look like they're coming out today. Hard luck.
Pokemon Snap, gotta catch them.
Hey guys, just a quick disclaimer before we get going. I recorded my audio via my webcam microphone, so it kind of sucks. I apologize, but I think we're really funny. It's a really good episode, so if you do bear with it, hopefully it's loud enough. I'll do what I can in post, but just a disclaimer, usually it sounds better, so enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to the Podtendo podcast, where we analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games. Why the big pause, you ask? Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it indeed. We can be contacted on Twitter at Podtendo Podcast. You email us at podtendo@gmail.com. We're on like Facebook. There's an Instagram thing. YouTube videos pop up. There's Let's Plays now. There's just old things. Maybe we'll diverse and we'll add more stuff to our YouTube channel at some point. Who knows? That's what we do. We're also a review, retrospective, Let's Play, pop culture show. So we kind of cover all those things. I'm your co-host, Mick. And I'm joined every episode by my lovely and talented co-host,
Tyson.
It's good. I haven't done an intro for this show for a while, so you're feeling it, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's a good game to jump into. It's a quick one, but it's fun.
Hey, you know what? It's topical because everyone in the world is talking about today's game. Because Pokemon Snap saw its first sequel. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, kind of out of the blue. Did anyone else see this coming? I didn't. I did not have my finger on the pulse. So
no. I knew. Yeah. I heard rumors. I didn't know how it was coming. I didn't know if it would be an actualized game or if they were going to do something cute where they were going to do kind of like a Pokemon Go kind of like augmented reality or something. You had to walk around and take pictures. You know, wasn't sure exactly how it was going to do kind of more of like an Animal Crossing. So I'm glad they kind of went back to the like on-rails shooter that was Pokemon Snap for the new one. Have you played the new Pokemon game?
I have not. It's nice to go back and play the OG first-person shooter Pokemon game. It's a classic, and it introduced such a memorable character such as insert name here.
I mean, Todd Snap. I mentioned it on the last one because you were saying like, oh, his name is stupid, and I was like, oh, Todd Snap, he's the man.
Yeah. No, he's the most forgettable character. I remember he showed up in the anime for 3 episodes only to promote this game.
I did not even talk about that. That's amazing. He did show up. All right, we will talk about Todd Snap maybe after development details. I'll pull up the Todd Snap Wikipedia page. Todd Snap.
Excellent. Glad we didn't forget his long running character arc in the anime that was him showing up with a camera?
Huh. Does he have number of episodes he appeared in?
I think he's in 1 or 2, maybe 3. But I also could be totally mistaken.
You know what's funny? I'll be honest with you. One of the things, our podcast, we're really to the point. We don't dick around. We're talking about stuff, guys. We're actually having an actual conversation about this fun game that we played. Is that not exciting? Welcome to, because I didn't say it on our last episode, because when I recorded it, I didn't know where we'd be in the future. This is our 6th season of Podtendo, so I want to thank everyone that has listened thus far, has been with us on the journey. 6 years, 5 full years that we've done this podcast. It's pretty crazy. And thanks for being along on the adventure with me. It's been awesome.
Oh, absolutely. We've had lots of highs and some lows and some classics and some hidden gems. It's been a fun journey. Journey. So.
Anime. All right, I will dive some point. We'll be talking about Todd Snap, but right now specifically, we're looking at today's game, which is number 91 in the calendar, in our catalog. Sorry, and that's just numbered shows. We also do other shows like video game or movie reviews, and we're looking at this Legend of Zelda series on off weeks. pretty exciting. It's really cool stuff. So one day we're going to get to show 100, but it's technically not our 100th show. I forget which show counts as our 100th show. I think every year I talk about this. Maybe at some point I'll count, but I'm not doing it right now. Anyways, today's game is Pokemon Snap. It was developed by HAL Laboratories. It sold 1.5 million copies. The release date was July 26th, 1999. How long to beat has this game at 10 hours? I feel like I wrapped it about 2 hours ago. Price at release was $59.99. On eBay, you can get a copy of this game from $50 to $2,000 for a copy that has never been opened. I don't believe that. It's craziness. And the eShop price, not available, because I don't think it's available anywhere. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yep. Oh, don't. Come on, don't expect these games to be available. There need to be re-releases so that they can charge people $80 for a game.
True.
Like, that's crazy amounts of money that this game made. But Pokemon was a craze, and if it had Pokemon on it, kids bought it en masse.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, if like there was a kid that got it first on the playground, but I mean, if you did, you're probably the coolest kid for all of one day until everybody else ran out and got it. So.
It's true. Yeah. It was all right. I know we had a copy. So we're in a place. You have an original copy or on the Wii Virtual Console. It's exciting stuff. So before we can talk too much about this game, like I was saying, I remember playing this game. I know we had it at some point. Maybe we rented it. We borrowed it from a friend. But I don't quite remember that time in my life that well. So what we're going to do is jump into our patented Wayback Machine. Before we do anything else, travel back to July 26th, 1999, and just kind of see if we can remember the pop culture landscape. I told you it was a pop culture show. This is the pop culture part of it. So we're going to start out by asking, Tyson, what is your favorite show? You can only watch one of these bad boys. Would you rather watch The Simpsons Season 10, Episode 23, 30 Minutes Over Tokyo? The Simpsons visit Japan and end up on a game show to win a trip home. Or Family Guy, Season 1, Episode 7, Brian. Portrait of a Dog? Brian and Peter's relationship is tested, which causes Brian to be sentenced to death until the Griffin family can save him.
Well, now Family Guy killing off Brian, that's something that, shocking and never been done before. And then in The Simpsons, is this Mr. Sparkle?
No, Mr. Sparkle is... I don't know what they're doing. I feel like they threw away a Christmas tree and then they find a box and they get a video. They actually go to Japan. Homer walks through a door at the jail. They go to, like, Little America restaurants.
Yeah. And they have seizures because of the...
Japanese
fighting.
Show.
Yeah. It's a really hilarious joke. Man, I'm kind of torn. But I think I kind of have to go with The Simpsons on this one, just because I'm a little bit more on a Simpsons kick than I am Family Guy right now. Not a bad episode of Family Guy, but I mean, they kind of reused this story. Yes. And, so I'll go with The Simpsons.
Nice. Good job, Simpson. Good job, guys. Good job, indeed. Anyways, other TV shows you can be watching are Angel, Roswell, speaking of aliens, apparently they're real, so that's kind of weird, Sopranos, and The West Wing. They're like, TV shows. I'm not about that. I want to watch cartoons. But I've switched the categories, weirdly enough, and still started with TV shows, so, top cartoons around this time were Beast Machines, Transformers, Batman, Beyond, Detention, Futurama, Redwall, and Spider-Man Unlimited.
Ooh, we got some good TV here. I know what I'm watching. Lots of Futurama, some Redwall mixed in there to fill the gaps. Spider-Man Unlimited, I never got into, but I love Spider-Man, so I'm sure I could always fill my time with that now. Batman Beyond was fantastic. There's always rumors of that coming back, so I mean, Who doesn't love Beast Machines? But
yeah, that was good. What about top movies this week? So this one, I'm like, okay, you know what? TV show, whatever. It's a thing, right? Top movies. So this week we got to see Deep Blue Sea. Still in theaters, you could watch Summer of Sam, The Blair Witch Project, Lake Placid, Eyes Wired Shut, and Inspector Gadget. Talk about a bunch of blockbusters in one summer. If you waited a couple weeks, you could see Runaway Bride, The Iron Giant, great, Mystery Men, awesome, The Sixth Sense, The Thomas Crown Affair, and Detroit Rock City.
What is this magical summer? Like, I mean, goodness, we got, holy moly, I think, like, everything is very, very watchable, except for maybe, like, not even a handful, like, one or two in there. It's like,
I bet you in terms of chick flicks, rom-coms, Runaway Bride probably holds up, right? Like, in terms of how, like, goofy they are, that one's probably one of the better ones out there. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm thinking this is a, like, murderer's row of freaking movies released over the time, you know? Like, holy smokes.
Absolutely. You got lots of, like, little gems in there and some bombshells, and you're just like, man. And it's got, you got a spy thriller, you got, like, a stoner comedy, you got, a thriller, you got an action comedy, you got animation. Like, horror, like, my goodness. This thing is just...
You know, two of the better creature features since, like, Jaws, Lake Placid. Actually, Lake Placid is pretty fucking terrible. I watched. That's not great. Deep Blue Sea. I don't know if that one holds up, but it's, like, fun. But, like,
I think, like, Lake Placid resonates with us because being from BC, we know lakes that look like Lake Placid.
Well, we, like, lived on that lake, and I was like, oh, fuck, there's an alligator out there. I didn't even think of this. But, like, think of that. Like, Blair Witch Project, which, like, revolutionized the horror game. And then you get Sixth Sense.
And Eyes Wide Shut.
Well, I mean, Eyes is a genre. It's a thing that exists. You know. Anyways, pop video games.
It's not the greatest one, but it's watchable.
So we get Pokemon Snap right now, as well as we can get Prince of Persia and Mario Golf.
Boom! So, dang, that's I between these three games, like, I mean, I spent a lot of time in the summer.
This is pretty close to maybe one of the best Wayback Machines we've ever done. I know there was that Christmas. It's like Christmas in '94 that I had. That it was like a Mega Man X. It's just like exceptional. This might be one of those ones I talk about for a while because I'm gonna blow your mind with the top 3 songs according to the Billboard charts for July 26, 1999. Are you ready for this? Number 3 is Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny. Didn't pick that up for some reason.
No, I heard it.
Yeah, but like normally on my mic, like a little thing appears. I didn't see that there, so.
Oh, weird. Oh well, good song.
It's all right. We got a little Beyonce, so you're like, you can't complain about that. What about the next song? I'm like, oh, of course it's gonna be there. Oh, there it is. Found it. So the number 2 song, according to the Billboard charts, which probably means it came out at some point over the summer, was "Wild Wild West" by Will Smith.
Oh man, that's peak Will Smith right there. That's fantastic, man. I'm sure if you went to like Burger King right now, you could probably get yourself some sweet toys that you'll end up in a landfill somewhere. Good times.
Yeah, it's definitely not sticking around. Well, I might have to go back and post and frick. What's going on with this stupid? I don't know. So like my internet's broken or something because like I'm gonna tell you the next song and you're like, oh, of course. I don't know why. Anyways. So the number 1 song, according to the Billboard charts, just to kind of keep this going, to kind of put a final nail in the coffin, is "Genie in a Bottle" by Chris. Well, we'll find out afterwards. Earlier this week, I might have smacked the mic really hard with something, and it made like a sound, so we'll see.
We'll see how this works.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe those were in post. I heard it. Tyson heard it. Hopefully, you heard it as well. They were just kind of quiet for some reason. Weird. Anyways, so that's it. That's what life was like when this game came out. I don't remember specifically that summer. I have like a distinct memory of Wild Wild West coming out and singing it while sitting in a minivan and traveling to Kimberly. It's kind of all I got.
Yeah, I remember the Burger King toys.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was that summer. That's fun. That's fun. All right, so now 15 minutes into this, basically a pretty short podcast. Like, we don't have a lot of content after this point. We're going to talk about Pod Snap, and then we're going to talk about, like, 6 on-the-rails shooter levels. So, good thing we took our time at the beginning and had some fun with it, because, oh boy. I guess we weren't really on a pressure crunch to get through all these notes. There's 2 full pages. Development details. So now that we know what the pop culture landscape looked like, and you're like, I remember that time. I remember watching, I'm thinking, like, what's the worst? Inspector Gadget in theaters, which is probably a movie I saw at some point, and I was like...
Well, I also believe that those toys were available at Burger King.
There you go.
I'm having some Burger King flashbacks right now for some reason.
Oh, man. What were they? Yeah, do you remember they were called Frosties. They're McFlurry ripoffs. They were pretty good. But, shoot, I forget what they were called.
Yep, they didn't stick around, though.
No, they don't stick around. And you might be able to still get something like that. They don't really do ice cream. Although they're...
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, development details of this fine title. So this game started development as a game called Jack and the Beanstalk. It was going to be to use an internal clock of the N64 disk drive. However, not much else is known about this game. After the smash hit that was Pokemon, they scrapped the idea of Jack and the Beanstalk and turned the assets into a Pokemon spin-off. The Jack game would have seen you travel on a rail system and take pictures of the environment. However, motivational/goals of this game are kind of unknown. In January of 1999, they abandoned the use of the Nintendo 64 DD, and only 2 months later, this game was released in Japan. There was a massive marketing campaign for this game that included photo kiosks being put into Blockbusters around the world so kids could print out their pictures. The marketing campaign is said to be the driving reason for this game's success.
Marketing, you say?
Marketing, like maybe making a character in a show.
Yes. Well, man, I can't... Jack and the Beanstalk, that just seems bonkers to me. Like, it seems like... But were you going to be climbing the beanstalk and taking pictures? Was that the goal? Like, besides that one concept, it's like, how could you build this out into a game? There's no game here. So must have just been a placeholder name. Like, sometimes they do that. Well, they'll just call something goofy or whatever because it's an inside joke.
Well, it could have been maybe you're Jack and the Beanstalk and you get a magical camera and you go around, like, fairy tale worlds and you take pictures of stuff.
Yeah, but why Jack and the Beanstalk, though? Like, would you climb on the beanstalk as you're going? Like,
I mean, name another, like, Little Miss Muffet? Is that a fairy tale person, or is that just from a rhyme?
Yeah.
You know, those famous fairy tale characters like Jack and the Beanstalk and Little Miss Muffet.
And Jack be quick?
Alright, Jack be nimble? Is he the same guy? Maybe. Probably.
Sure.
Well, what about... So speaking of marketing, though, we've got one of our protagonists of this game, Pod Snap. He's a kid. And you're like... Psh. And I'm like, man, he appeared in, like, tons. So in the Indigo League anime episodes, he appeared in 3 episodes in a row. Pokemon Paparazzi, The Ultimate Test, and The Breeding Center Secret. He then reappears...
That's obviously what I'm remembering.
Yep. He then reappears in the Johto League Champions of Moving Pictures, Spring Fever, and Freeze Frame, episodes 71 to 73, and in the Indigo League, that was episodes 55 to 57. So, yes, literally was in a couple episodes. I assumed he was like a main character and like stayed for longer, but he was literally just like, "Hi guys, I'm gonna leave now."
Yeah, he kind of blurs with me with like the other guy, like Tracy, whatever that was hanging around with them during the like second half of the one season, and I had like a bandana and like a teal shirt.
I do not know a lot about the Pokemon anime.
You clearly stopped watching Pokemon a lot sooner before me. I was still currently like,
I think
eating up that anime.
Yeah, I think somewhere around like Orange Islands is kind of when I fell off the anime. So you could figure out.
And that makes sense because I feel like he came in around the Orange Islands.
Yeah.
And you're probably like, look at this character. He has no value. And you're like, oh no, you don't understand. He sticks around for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, that was when that, and like I know Yu-Gi-Oh is probably out around. Like if you probably look Orange Islands and Yu-Gi-Oh, he's probably in that underground maze fighting those 2 Riddler guys or something that tell the riddle, and like those probably happen concurrently. And at that point, I was like, I think I just entered puberty. I don't care so much about this. I gotta go.
I want an actual like story one time of you just telling me what you think happens in Yu-Gi-Oh. Because I think it'll just be delightful. Because the two Joker guys in the basement is the best description I've ever heard of that.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. They're underground. There's like a maze or something, and then there's like they tell
a riddle.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Well, you know what? There is a Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Switch that I always want to buy. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh Cardmaster or something. Switch game. Maybe at some point.
Like Duel Masters or
Duel
something?
Masters? Yeah, like Legacy of the... Yeah, and I saw it on sale once, and I was like, I should buy that. But I want a physical copy, so maybe we could like buy that and play it on here, and then I can just tell you what I think happens. Like, remember that time they're on the castle and all those little like furry guys show up around the dragon? It's pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm glad that you have this vague memory of it, but you don't know the names of anything, because like it must have just been on in the background and you're just like kind of half paying attention to it. It's like it is. I will arrange this.
Hold on. Hold on. Like, I know that it was Karibo, and he surrounded the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Okay, perfect.
So, but like,
you nailed it.
I don't know other than that. Like, yeah, that's I don't know. I was going with like furry guys, so I thought that was funnier. But like, I know, don't destroy my street cred of Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just think we definitely need to like get some like vague summaries. Like I want you to like to just summarize it from like, I think this is the story of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I want that one day.
All right, cool. Maybe we'll have to have a podcast about us telling our weird recollections of certain things that we've definitely seen. So, and
then fact checking it to see how absolutely like right or wrong we are and how close we actually get.
All right, sounds like a fun time. Hey, back to this game though. We get our controls. So this game operates as a rail shooter. You travel along a set track. You point and you shoot Pokemon. I mean, you take their pictures. The aim feels really good. I think even better than the Switch game. Switch game, in my mind, like it gives you lots of precision, but like so slow moving. Whereas this game, I feel like you can move around really quickly. You can get lots of cool action shots. The zoom feature isn't as big an inhibitor. You also get some add-on items. So you get apples after you've got 24,000 total points. The Pester Ball comes to you at 72,000 points. The Poke Flute is available at 130,000 total points. And the Accelerator Thruster, which you get from opening an alternate route in the Valley Course.
Yeah, and the Accelerator Thruster can be a real lifesaver when you restart a level just to get one picture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. And I'm glad that they kind of added like a turbo button. It is what it is. It's a pretty simple game, like it's point and click, but I think that for what it is, it's kind of fun. I think it's probably spawned a lot of kids' interest in photography. It was, sometimes you would compete with your friends or who get the most points or what makes the best shot. But sometimes I disagree with Professor Oak's grading of my shots, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's maybe something we need to... I mean, if we have like a criticism of this game, yeah, it's definitely one of those things I'm like, alright, I'll get to it. So first memories. Now that we know the pop culture landscape, we went back to the time we were watching our Karibos fighting the Blue Eyes Dragons on Yu-Gi-Ohs. First memories of this game. I know I played it as a kid. I don't think we bought a copy. So I'm thinking we borrowed it from someone. Someone in our friend circle that we'd hang out with over the summer had this game, and we played it then. I think that's how it works. And I think someone must have showed me how to unlock it. Because maybe I didn't, like, maybe it was a Nintendo Power. So, like, I kind of figured out this game on my own. It takes, like, 2 hours if you know what you're doing. But, like, I didn't do that. Maybe we had Nintendo Power at the time, and that, like, assisted us in the game. That's kind of my first memory of this game. Do you have a more specific title?
For some reason, I have a picture of a Pikachu on a strategy guide cover somewhere in my head. I don't know where that came from.
Do you think we had the strategy guide and someone brought the game to our house so we could, like, beat it for them? Or, like, work with them to beat it, maybe?
Probably, but I feel like we also, like, bought it, like, or got it from Blockbuster, as you did back in the day. And this might have been one of those recurring games that, like, they'd have, like, a deal, like, you rent 2 games or rent 3 games for the, like, 7 days. And, like, that was always, like, made sense to us because it was like, well, I'm going to go home, play it, and then need to return it next week. So I feel like this was one of those games that we just grabbed occasionally to beat. But for some reason, like, we might have had the actual strategy guide for this.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I can't say 100% exactly how those kind of events unfold, how they work, in kind of the ether of our childhood. I have a current copy. I bought on Kijiji a bunch of games that include Pokemon Snap. Do you have my copy of Pokemon Snap?
I think maybe I do. It's probably in the pile of games I have.
Okay, so. Right, and that's all good. Like, I know I bought. I mean, it was like $40 for 8 games, and I was like, I feel like this is probably worth it. If there's like a Pokemon Snap in there, probably worth like $40 on its own. So good job, me.
Yeah, you nailed it.
And I know I kept some like doubles or something, and you took others. Anyways, so that was our first memories. Let's get into this game proper, shall we? So we start out by saying the story. So Todd Snap. I called him Todd Snap in the last episode, and I'm gonna brag about that because I remember Karibo and Todd Snap. All the important things in my childhood are stored up in my brain. And he is summoned by Professor Oak to an unusual island to help him with a report.
Well, what a story.
That's it. I'm going to, you know what, I won't remember, but we had a nice awkward pause there. It was good, because not a lot happened, so, yeah. I mean...
Sorry, I was staring at the Pokemon Snap official strategy guide, and I was like, is this what I'm remembering?
Yeah, Nintendo...
I'm staring at it, and it's the official Nintendo player's guide, and has a really, really beautiful picture of a in-game Pikachu.
Yeah, that is.
I'm glad they went with the in-game artwork, so it's aged well.
I mean, we had that episode of Nintendo Power. Like, I'm on Amazon or something, and they're selling the official guide. Like, I'm looking at the Nintendo Power. We definitely had that. So.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So there's something there.
Great. All right, so on to our level notes. This is our Let's Play section where we're going to tell you in excruciating, that's not bad, detail, our experience playing this game. So you are welcome to the Pokemon Lab. You can look at past pictures and choose which course you want to select. So we're going to start in the beach, like you always do. You start at the beach on an island. You move along the beach near an ocean. You can take pictures of the duo, Pikachu, Butterfree, Meowth, Pidgey, and Lapras. And if you come back with some upgrades later in this game, you can unlock Scyther, Chansey, Kangaskhan, and a surfing Pikachu. So apparently what we're doing with this is we're going to talk about what our favorite picture is, or like our favorite moment, or our favorite thing to do in each of these levels specifically, rather than going through them all. I mean, we can talk about them in general. Did you like the beach level, and what is your favorite picture?
The beach level, pretty chill. I like it. I think it's a good entry level. It's not too, like, hectic. It's got a good tune going, gets you in the mood. Got a nice, like, little, like, funk going. And it's, it's a beach level, so it's like you see all the little animals, like all Pokemon playing. I think maybe my favorite is Snorlax, because growing up, like, Snorlax was one of my favorite Pokemon. So waking him up with a Poke Flute was just satisfying. Kind of be like, finally woke you up, you sleeping jerk. Because like you go past them so many times because you get the Poke Flute a little bit later.
Yeah. So
it's kind of nice to like actually go back and unlock them and wake them up, because I did that in the game.
It's true. So. It is like how you did in the game. Yeah, I like that this level does do a good job of just kind of guiding your gaze as well. So at the beginning of the level, there'll be like a Pidgey in the track, and then a Doduo will run past you. And you kind of like are guided to look then to the right, and then on the right there's some other stuff in the background and the foreground, and it kind of helps draw your eyes as to what's important. And then they do a good job, especially on this level, like the Kingler. So it's like a secret sign. He's kind of hidden on the left. So if you followed your gaze and you never actually explored and looked around, you would actually miss the Kingler, which I think is kind of neat. And it kind of happens throughout. And yeah, favorite picture was Snorlax. I threw a pester ball at him just to the point where he kind of looked up and he was like, "What the fuck?" And I got a picture of his face. So it wasn't a very good picture, but I didn't need more points at that point, so it counted.
No, but Snorlax is just like such a derpy Pokemon. He's just hilarious.
Yeah. And then from there, we kind of end by a lake, and we're like going into a tunnel, and I think that it's supposed to be that like we go into the tunnel in the next one, because the next area is a tunnel, so we can enter a cave that needs the power turned on. You can take pictures of Electrode, Electabuzz, Pikachu, there's a Haunter, a Diglett, and a Zubat. And if you come back with upgrades, you can get Zapdos, Kakuna, Magnemite, and unlock a secret passage.
Yeah, pretty cool. It's a nice little like cave area. I didn't even think about the beach transitioning into a cave, but that totally makes sense. Yeah, I think this was neat because it wasn't just your regular everyday like beginning Pokemon. This kind of had some like an Electabuzz and Haunter and the Doug Trio. Like Doug Trio is pretty common, but I mean like an Electabuzz is awesome. Same with a Haunter. Like, and then when you come back later, you can actually get like the Zapdos. It's like, man, this level's like really like cool. It's got like a little electrical theme going on.
Yeah, I like that it showed you that there was going to be unlockables, right? So you could, the way you, like, if you threw a Pester Ball or an apple at the Electabuzzes, they would kind of turn on TV screens, and it kind of helped show you that at some point, if you get the power turned onto these things, you'll get a bit more of an experience, right? So when you get the apple, and then you play a Polka Flute, and, like, Pikachu Thunder Shocks the egg, and Zapdos comes out, when I was able to kind of get that sequence, you have to lure Pikachu to near the egg, play the Polka Flute, he does his shock, Zapdos comes on and turns on the whole power plant, and it's a whole different experience. I felt really cool. It was really satisfying to kind of figure out that puzzle, and it doesn't really teach you how to do that in the game, especially like the Doug Trio. I didn't get Doug Trio because I didn't know you had to take a picture of all the Diglets, and then they come back together as the Doug Trio, and I was like, cool, neat.
Yeah, and I think that they're just really emphasizing the replayability and all the different little secrets and Easter eggs, and it's like it's less of a like just a photo like shoot marathon. It's more of like a explore, like try to like interact with this world as much as you can.
Yeah.
So
and it's meant to be like a peaceful, chill experience, you know, and like it's a little bit of a puzzle, but it's nothing strenuous type thing, right? Naturally, to your first time through anyways, you're probably going to end up at the Volcano next, as opposed to the cave, which is, I think, is where the unlockable level comes from. So now we're in the Volcano. So you move along a volcano path. You see tons of fire Pokemon. There's some Rapidashes, a Vulpix, Magmars, Charmander, Charmeleon, a Charizard, if you're smart, and a Moltres. And if you return with upgrades, you can also find a Growlithe and an Arcanine. 2 Pokemon that I also missed.
It's pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's all the fire Pokemon. It'd be kind of nice if they like spread them out. But I mean, where else are they going to hang around other than a volcano? It is kind of funny that you like knock the frickin' Charmeleon into the lava, and then like all of a sudden like he comes out all like angry as Charizard, and you're like,
well,
that's my fault.
So one of the ways to get what's it called?
Charmeleon.
I don't know. I couldn't remember that. There's a Magmar and a Charmander on one of the little platforms. If you throw an egg or like an apple between them, Magmar will come over and roast the Charmander. He kind of gets knocked out, but then he gets pissed off and he evolves into Charmeleon and then knocks the Magmar out. And I really like that little bit of interaction with those 2 Pokemon. And it's a better way of just getting a better point score on a Charmeleon, right, is to get that little interaction. So I think that's really neat that they have kind of the Pokemon interacting with each other and affecting like their evolution. So I think that's kind of the neater part of this.
Yeah, totally. And it's neat, like kind of like shows that there's like a pecking order, like like a Magmar like will like own a Charmander, but a Charmeleon will own a Magmar. It's like very cool.
Well, and there's a really funny part too, where there's a platform with like 2 Charmanders, and if you throw an apple, a third one shows up. Well, if you just keep throwing apples, like you end up with a dozen little Charmanders all sitting there. So I did that at one point and had a picture of a Charmander surrounded by like 10 other Charmanders. That was worth a lot of points.
Oh yeah, you get extra points for stacking them as many Pokemon in an actual shot. Sometimes it can just be a toe, but you know, it still counts.
Yeah, the grading system, like Tyson alluded to, we wanted to take a second and talk about that. It's how centered are they? How big, like how much size do you have? Are they in an action shot? Is there multiples? Or are they doing like a special pose or something like that? Because there are some special poses in the game, which ends with some really stupid scoring. There's a Dragonite later on in the game. At one point, he like kicks his leg out and like peepers himself, so he's just this flat circle, and that shot's worth tons of points. But if you get him like full blown, like "Rawr, I'm Dragonite," it's worth less points. So the scoring system's a little screwy.
Yeah, it's very subjective, and it's like I get that But yeah, there's some times where like, especially because I think I got the Meowth getting like gusted by a Pidgey.
Yeah.
But I took a picture of the Meowth getting gusted and not the Pidgey using gust. That's like, oh my goodness. Okay, now we're getting nitpicky.
Yeah,
so,
that's annoying.
but
anyways, on to the next area, though. We get to the river. You travel down a wet, damp marsh path. You can see a Poliwag and a Bulbasaur, Slowpoke, Shellder, Magikarp, and Slowbro. If you return with upgrades, you can get a Metapod, Porygon, Vileplume, and a secret passage.
ooh, a secret passage. Weird that the volcano links to the river, but it's kind of more of a swamp.
Well, let's see. Pokemon Snap Island. I feel like
Yeah.
I want like it on 64. I'm sure there's an actual name. If you look at the image, it kind of makes sense to all the little areas you go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the river?
My favorite Pokemon is Psyduck in this one because I always enjoyed Psyduck. I think he's a hilarious Pokemon, and yeah. So I was kind of happy that they kind of like tucked him in here. He was like for a while there, he was kind of like jostling with one of the most popular Pokemons, Pikachu, but yeah, no, he never did really stick around. So, but yeah, that one's my favorite because you have to pester him and give him a headache.
Yeah, that's fair. Valley. All right. So where was I going? Favorite picture. I like the Slowbro. Just the fact that you have to lure the Slowpoke over to the fishing area, captures a Shellder, turns into Slowbro. It looks just as derpy as he did before. It's nice that a lot of these Pokemon, especially in this level, you really have to understand that you have to be able to interact with them. So whether it's luring them out with by taking pictures of them, or by pester balls, or by lure balls, apples to kind of lure them into bait for pictures, and it's just really interactive. Like I think maybe Psyduck is the only Pokemon that doesn't need that, and a Slowpoke, I guess, and the Shelders will jump out. But like lots of them, like again, you need to trick them somehow, right? Or you need to manipulate them in some way to actually get pictures of them, and which is kind of neat. And you need those extra little things to kind of move on to the next levels.
Yeah, and this is where that replayability kind of starts to drag on you because like it's one of those things where like you miss a throw or two, then all of a sudden you need to restart because you missed a Pokemon, and it's easily done. Like I know the luring the Slowpoke and into like putting its tail, and I have no idea how you would figure that out as a kid, but I mean if you're just lobbing apples everywhere, you discover a thing or two.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. No. And like the timing is minute. It would take a lot of practice to perfect these, to get the perfect shots, right? Because you probably want to be closer to some Pokemon, play things at the right time, make sure you throw the apple. A lot of practice. However, though, if we go back to the power plant, we can go into a cave. So that's the secret exit here. So that's our next area, the cave. So we can head into a dark and creepy cave. We can see Grimers, Dittos, Zubats, Pikachus, Koffings, Jinx, and a Jigglypuff. If you return, I believe you probably, I guess the Pokeflute you can get Articuno. Pretty exciting.
And you can also get a Mewtwo constellation. We didn't really talk too much about the Pokemon signs. They're just kind of usually like something like an actual like rock formation or something that looks like a Pokemon.
Well, quickly. So the on the beach, we have the Kingler, right? So if you kind of look into the rocks, there's like LJ, and it looks kind of like a Kingler. There's what's his name, Pinsir, in the tunnels. When you turn all the electricity on, this light shines and kind of has the outline of a Pinsir. And really, until you beat the game, you can't unlock the symbols anyways, right? You have to kind of like unlock everything, beat it, and then go and find the symbols, and then get to the rainbow cloud at the end.
Yeah, but like I mean, there's the coughing one, the volcano. You might as well mention them all. And then there's also the Cubone one in the river, and then the Mewtwo one in this one. So
it's kind of neat. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. I kept taking pictures of them anyways, and they never counted. And they're like, I don't know what this is. And the later he's like, hey, can you go find this thing? And I'm like, dude, I literally took a picture of those constellations in Mewtwo 10 minutes ago.
Really triggers your OCD being like, I know this counts, just count it.
Yeah, just count it. Come on, count it. So favorite picture of this area. I think this is one of the least enjoyable levels It feels really raily. You're always kind of above everything, so you kind of see everything. You can I accidentally saved the Jigglypuffs my first time through, so they're getting chased by something, and if you throw enough apples or something at whatever's chasing it, they kind of float off, and they'll put a little concert at the end. So I was kind of pleasantly surprised that I saved all the little Jigglypuffs in this level. But I don't know, this probably is my least favorite area of the game.
Yeah, well, I don't really care about Jigglypuff too much. Super Smash Brother horror memories, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but she sang. Remember when she sang in the show, just like with Snap, with Pod Snap? Don't you remember?
I do remember, but I choose to forget.
Right. Okay. Did you have a favorite Pokemon from there?
Articuno.
Cool. All right. How about on to the last course, or maybe not the last course, but maybe it's the second to last course, the Valley. So you move along a fast-paced river that requires some of the most precise aiming in the game. You can unlock Squirtle, Mankey, Geodude, Sandshrew, and Slash, Graveler, Staryu, and Starmie, and Dragonite. Maybe there's a Dragonair somewhere along the way. Pretty exciting. And if you may unlock them all during your first playthrough. But also, Gyarados is in this area, as well as a secret passage. So I never got Gyarados. I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, you get him by shooting one of the
Magikarp at the beginning.
Yeah.
And the Mankey takes him and runs away with him, and then he's laying on the ground and he's pissed off, and you hit him again, and then he goes into a waterfall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he comes out and he roars at you.
I read about it afterwards. I just didn't care.
That's fair. There's a lot to unlock in this one, so I mean, if you want to waste your whole time trying to hit those shots for Gyarados, you can waste an entire trip, but that's why we have a turbo button. So I wasted my time.
Yeah, this level is fast moving, and it just requires a lot of precision, and there's lots of little interactive kind of nuances, right? So I think it's one of those things they really want you to work for it, right? To really kind of earn it, even to be able to kind of explore. My favorite picture was probably the dancing Gravelers. At one point, you play your Poke Flute, and all these Gravelers kind of jump off these rocks and dance around. There's these silly little guys. I like that. I was like, all right, cute.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. The Gravelers are may have warmed me to them, because I usually don't even get a Geodude just because I can't trade to get Golem. So I despise Gravelers, but you know what? They got some good dance moves, so maybe I gotta cut them some slack.
Nice. But now that we've talked about 5 of the symbols, in this area, when you first come in, there's like a Dugtrio mountain. That's the final sign. With that information, Professor Oak now gives you access to the Rainbow Cloud. So when we were transported there, you have returned all the courses and uncovered the 6 Pokemon signs before you can travel to the Rainbow Cloud. You shoot Pesteballs around an orb that surrounds the legendary Pokemon Mew. That's pretty exciting. And then finally, you can take little pictures of the poor little guy as he slinks away towards the bubble. And that's the game.
Yep. You pop his bubble and take some pictures, and once you get it, then you just kind of enjoy how long the actual. It always felt like when I was playing this as a kid that this final level, you blinked and it was gone. Mm-hmm. It was kind of almost like, oh, you play it during the credits. No, its own little area, but once you know how to pop the bubble, it's not too hard. So
no, and it doesn't require too much skill. It's kind of a fun little bonus thing. I'd love to see a great picture of Mew, because my pictures were terrible. He's always almost at his bubble by the time I got him. So, but Professor Oak seemed to love them and gave me tons of bonus points. So hooray!
Yeah. Not sure how to please that man, but at the end of it, we got through it.
We did it. So the ending of this game is you help Professor Oak discover Mew on the mysterious island. He saves the same. I don't know what that means. And then you get to watch the credits. Cool. However, you can then try to get the best pictures ever on challenge mode. So this game can go forever until you master it. I didn't even get all the Pokemon. I just did the bare minimum to get the credits, and I was like, get out of here, game.
That's fair. I tried to get all the Pokemon. And I think he saves the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. He saves the game. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, nice.
But yeah, challenge mode, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, again, as kids, you have, 5 guys in a room or something like that. It's a hot summer day. You're trying to escape the heat. I'm thinking that sounds like a lot of fun with some friends, but like by yourself, I'm like, I don't care. I just don't. Current thoughts. So I had a lot of fun playing this game a few years ago. I spent a Saturday afternoon, as I mentioned. This playthrough was way quicker. Like maybe took me 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer. It was a fun kind of past Pokemon adventure that, I'm not like lamenting that I went and played this game. I think it was fun. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, I don't know. That's kind of my current thoughts. Tyson, what are your current thoughts on this game?
It's a fun playthrough. I would be so frustrated, like as a kid, if I owned it. Like, I could see why, renting this game is it's a perfect rental. You pick up, you play it every now and then. You go, okay, good. I'm glad I played that, and it's fun. It was good. It was a couple hours, easy breezy. I didn't sweat. It's a fun time. Got to listen to some podcasts and relax. But it's definitely there's not a lot to it. There's not a lot of substance. There's no oh, I'm gonna go back and replay that. It's like, oh no, my memory's pretty good of it. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think shorter experiences, especially kids, with that replayability, is nice because it gives you that time to unlock everything. And as a child, I loved beating games. I mean, I've beat those 5 games, right? And building up that list, even if they were dead easy. As a kid, it was more of just the fact that I completed it and I could go back and replay it or something like that. So the replayability is great, but the actual adventure is probably a little bit lacking.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means, just short. But yeah, for a kid, without knowing how to unlock everything,
yeah.
I'm sure probably knowing that whole adventure, everything's pretty straightforward. It's never something's super vague that you'd never figure out. Sometimes it's throw 4 pester balls in the whirlpool. And you're okay, I'd probably figure that out by accident by just spamming the button.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel there's nothing too vague going on, and that if you this could be a good game for a younger kid to kind of play because there's no stress, nothing's hitting them. They can kind of just fiddle around with the controls and have fun.
Well, I think that's who it's kind of aimed at, to be honest with you, is younger kids. And the fact that you have unlimited apples, you have unlimited pester balls. If you're stuck on a level, you could just spam pester balls at everything and aim try literally everywhere and just be a sprinkler of pester balls throughout the area. And you might find, stumble onto some things by dumb luck, right? And the fact that you have no capacities, right? You have limited number of shots. You can take 50 shots or whatever it is, 60 shots kind of per adventure, per track. But if you had, only 10 pester balls, you'd hoard them all and you wouldn't just spam them. So the fact that those items are unlimited, I think, kind of adds to that carelessness gameplay that they're going for.
Yeah, and it leads you to some discoveries by just spamming the button and just experimenting. So
cool. How about what would you change? I said I think this game's pretty good. I like the adventure elements. I don't want to change anything. The new Pokemon Snap is a pretty good update. But pretty good.
More courses. And more Pokemon. I think there's 46 or 60. There's barely anything in this.
Well, that's a third of all Pokemon.
Yeah, currently I guess, but still, it's in my eyes, it's give me a few more, just 1 or 2 more levels. Stretch this out to 9. Yeah. 7's too short. 9 or 10, especially with the final level having 1 Pokemon. It's really 6.
Well, the new game
6 is a short game.
The new game does an interesting thing where it's different routes. So after 2 or 3 times through, you level up and you're the level 2, you go from level 1 to level 2 for that area. And sometimes you can search and go through, and all of a sudden that the Spinnerack nest that you've seen a couple times, you now get to drive through it and get up close pictures of all these Pokemon, and then you look back and you're oh, there was a giant Arbok in the trees above me the whole time I never saw, right? So there's kind of cool elements there. But in terms of updates, this isn't a new Pokemon Snap review. It's kind of just anything I'd want to change is in that adventures.
Yeah. This always reminded me of Jurassic Park. Because you know how they're on the rails and you're going through and you're seeing the dinosaurs. It's kind of very similar. So let me pause the little pod and hop out and go check everything out and go exploring. That's what I want.
Right, but do you have health? Because what if you go out and there's a big Charizard breathing fire? In your pod, you're safe because it's got a protective wrap, and you just go out there and you just burn to death.
Well, maybe you have a timer that you have to get back into your. I don't know. I'm sure they can figure it out.
I mean, I like the idea of like watching Todd Snap get burnt alive by Charizard. So I thought, I'm like kind of encouraging this. I'm like, what? How could we kill Todd?
Well, he does unlock some dangerous Pokemon. There's lots of coughing with lots of like poisonous fumes, and we're fragile humans, so he clearly has lung damage.
Hey Todd, this is Professor Oak. I don't think it's a good idea to get out during these rapids out of the car. You might want to stay inside. Oh, you want to get out anyways? Great, but just don't swim towards that whirlpool. Oh, you're doing that. Oh, you drowned.
But luckily, a Dragonite saved you. See, there's always a solution.
Oh, perfect. Good. Right. Somewhere in the back of your head, you hear your dad's words. This is not the time for this. That's what that game would be filled with.
Yeah, it's like your character died. Stay in the raft.
All right, how about, so that kind of ends our review of this game. Fun adventure. Quick, are you buying it? Cultural significance. And then we'll get out of here for today. Good, show 90. Are you buying it? So this game is a prequel to Red and Blue. There are no Pokeballs because they were not invented yet. You take pictures of Pokemon and are rewarded for your centering. Maybe because these pictures are going into an encyclopedia or a Pokedex. And finally, you see all the legendary birds hatch from eggs that would later be captured by Red in the original Game Boy games.
Mm-hmm. I could see it, because, I mean, the legendary Todd Snap does seem like he's ageless. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, I don't put it past him. He could be 12 forever, like Ash Ketchum. You never know that.
So, yep.
So, and to actually have the legendary birds hatch from eggs, like if it was just Moltres, I'd be like, okay, it's kind of a phoenix, kind of a rebirth. Maybe it's at the end. But no, we got Articuno and Zapdos. So it's like, are they all phoenixes? You can't say that because phoenixes are usually firebirds. So, I mean, it's got to be the birth.
There you go. Cool stuff, right? I found that theory and I was like, yep, I'm in. I like it.
Yep.
All right.
And explains why Professor Oak's an absolute chump. And doesn't like my photos.
Yeah. He's like, no, this needs to look better in this electric magazine I'm making. Todd's like, print will never die, you old fool. And he's like, all right,
But I want to digitize it.
Yeah, I want to digitize it. It's going to be better.
It's like, look, I'm going to give you this film reel for you to develop. Todd Snap has declared that I will only deal in film reels.
No digital, guys. All film. All right. So final cultural significance. Speaking of digital, in this section we look at game marketing tactics. I guess I could have looked at Todd Snap. Stupid. Interesting stories. Talk about how this game relates and give other examples. We tie it all back together. We could have other like weird tie-ins to like games. Shit, son of a. We're gonna do Nintendo with cameras instead. So Nintendo loves cameras. Photography is a huge part of Japanese culture, and Nintendo shows that love in full force. In 1998, they developed and released a camera add-on for the Game Boy Color. It was called the Game. It also came with the Game Boy printer, so you could print off your fun picture. There were some mini games that you could play with it, but overall, it wasn't very well used, seeing how no major games used this add-on. Link's Awakening DX, I think, did use the printer functionality, but that's about it. In all DS games, DSi, 3DS and 2DS games, they have a camera. You could take pictures of your face for the Miiverse and Mii creation. Although never very flattering. Like you might, I'm not chubby, and then you take a picture for the Miiverse and you're a chubby boy, and you're like, son of a gun. This was big in the Nintendo, or the camera was a big part of the Nintendog series, where you could take pictures of your fun canine friends. Pokemon Stadium also had a feature that lets you take pictures of your Pokemon friends. Both Majora's Mask and Wind Waker included cameras for the mini-games / side quests. But the best example of Nintendo and cameras has to be this fine-tuned title. They include the world of photography and Pokemon. You can deep dive into each of the 6 courses, pick apart the various behaviors of the Pokemon, and fine-tune your skills until you collect the very best pictures of your friends. This game, the sequel being released 20 plus years later to no fanfare, is a bit sad. Maybe there's a big community for it online. I just haven't seen it yet. And perhaps as the word spreads, this new game will pick up some traction, although it was the best-selling game on the opening weekend, outselling the number 2 game by 3 times the amount that I'm talking about, the new Pokemon Snap. So maybe the tranquility and peacefulness of the Pokemon Snap universe has caused the users to sit back and enjoying the quaint gaming experience.
Yeah, very cool. I think that cameras are very interesting, and I mean, we don't think about it, but we carry around one every single day in our pockets on our cell phones. That was never always the case. Sometimes you really had to like struggle to get a picture, or you had to buy disposables, or you got into it and you bought a really expensive one. I remember when I was a kid that I went through some random camera craze, and I don't know if this sparks part of it, but I remember like fiddling around with like mom and dad's old like Pentax, and then using like whenever I could get my hands on a disposable camera for a while, and that was just like a weird phase. So I feel like this might have had something to do with it, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, photography is a very big hobby. It can be expensive, right? That's one of those things. Like, if you like photography, you look into it, and like the best camera people say you can spend is like $3,000, and you're like, that is far too much money for a camera, guys. Like, I mean, I understand it's got the light sensitivity, and it's got a great lens, and it's going to take these beautiful shots, but I don't know if it's just for me, right? So,
yeah, but that's why you start out with like a beginner one. Like, I know there's a few brands, like you got your Canon, your Nikon, your Sony, your Panasonic. Sure, there's one or two, Fuji.
Yeah.
They do have entry level ones, but as someone who actually like does own a Canon and a Nikon camera, you eventually do just buy these things when you find them on sale, or you inherit things. So.
Oh no! This is the worst. I realize why I'm not very loud. It's because my sound's being picked up on my webcam microphone, not my other microphone.
Oh.
Well, that's unfortunate. Well, it'll be a little bit of a quiet boy this episode, so...
Yep.
Huh.
Well, James Bond.
Yeah, James Bond, guys. So anyways, so that's kind of neat, like Tyson said. We were talking about cameras. It might have been. I don't know if you kind of matched up when you were interested in cameras. I don't know if this had any influence on it. But there you go. We discovered the mystery, finally. Why my sound sucks. Maybe I'll add like a disclaimer at the beginning. That's too bad.
Yep. Shoot. Only 59 minutes too late.
Oh, that's alright. I'll figure it out for next time. So, I mean, in theory, my sound might be okay. Like, you can hear my voice, just won't maybe be as loud as usual. And I can just add those songs afterwards, too, right? And I can always boost stuff up. So, cool. Anyways, so, cool. So that was Pokemon Snap and cameras. Fun stuff?
Good times.
Cool. Alright, well, we'll get out of here for this. And yeah, I think keep clipping away. I think we're doing nothing but games and Zelda for the next couple months, so it should be a good time.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy you guys, and I'm looking forward to a new season.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.